I'll be ready in 1 minute, folks. This is going to be a good one. Okay, I am back. What's up, everybody? It's your boy One Gun here, and today we're going to talk about a couple of things. And one of the things being this so-called quote unquote new this new uh, Joseph Errol McPeak, this all new version of him that's popped out of nowhere, and he's I just want to just put this in perspective of what he's trying to do. Like the other day, I decided I was going to put on my mocap suit and do some stuff, and he decides he's going to do a video about don't use a mocap suit, don't use this, and it's like he's still up to his same old tricks. He's still up to his same old line and same old line and everything. When here's the thing, Joe McPeak does not own iPie. Matter of fact, he can't even afford to get iPie. All right, he has to sit back and hack any version he can of iPie to use it. Meanwhile, he's going off and trying to sell iPie off as his own. When he talks about his motion capture, whatever he's doing, yeah, he does stuff in front of iPie. But here's the thing about it. Here's the thing about him and iPie. He never publishes what he does. He never really publishes what he does. And when he does publish something, it's basically him walking back and forth for hours. That's it. That's all he does. My mocap uses a perception neuron, and I can show you videos of people using the perception neuron doing a lot of stuff. I've done a lot of stuff with my perception neuron. I'm about to do a music video with my perception neuron. So there's nothing wrong with a perception neuron. Plus that it's a current technology. Unlike the Kinect, which is an old technology that's been dead for well over a year and a half now. Actually, longer than that, because they announced they're going to stop making that thing way back in 2016 when they decided they're not going to produce anymore. And then they finally stopped producing them. So the whole thing about this so-called technology he has is obsolete. Nobody really is. People are going to stop using it and start using the better version of it. And he just needs to understand that nobody's falling for his fake trickery no more. But that's not what this video is really about. Because we've talked about Joe and his fakery and everything. But here's the ultimate fakery that you all need to understand what Joe is doing. And the fakery is that he's now getting on here and claiming that he's going to other people and telling them to take down bad videos of me. And I know you all was like, well, Joe's doing a good thing, and he's not. Because Joe created this whole so-called people that are supposed to not like me and what I do. And now Joe's crusading to go tell these people to take down those awful videos that they made of me when Joe was the one who made the videos to begin with. I know Joe made those videos. Joe made every last one of those videos. And he made alts to pretend that there's more people out there that don't like me. Now, there probably are people out there who really don't like me. But I know the main one of all those people is Joe. Because Joe wants somebody to hate. That's plain and simple. So he goes out and make all these fake alts, making all these videos about me. They come in here and they down thumb my videos and all type of crap. And I don't really care. Because I know for a fact this man has nothing else to do but to constantly harass me. Now, I've been ignoring it for the last day, on and off. But I think one of his last 2 or 3 videos, I can't remember, really was like, you expect people to believe this, that you're not the person who made all those fake One Gun channels. You really want people to believe this, Joe, right? You really want people to follow your lead and believe that you're this person who's finally seen the light. He's up here lying saying, oh, well, well, one gun, I don't mess with one gun no more. And he still does, folks. He still messes with my channels. He's still over there on Facebook flagging videos of mine. And then I have to go back and unflag them. Like he actually, I took my eyes off of Facebook for a couple of days. And he went through my videos on Facebook and started flagging them. And then Facebook took my channel away for 3 days. But then Facebook came back and said, oh, we made a mistake. And they took the restriction off for 3 days, And it was because I was off of Facebook for a day or two. 2 days. If I leave any of my social media alone for more than 2 days, this guy comes. He comes and he starts havoc. And I know it's him. I know it's him who's been flagging my videos. I know it's him. He wants people to believe that it's somebody else, but it's him. The Glenn Roberts, the one gun and the other one gun and the I am one gun, those are all Joe. And all the other videos that are published on other channels that Joe wants me to believe it's not him, but it's him. So out the goodness of his heart, oh yeah, and the 4Web guy, that's Joe too, So Joe wants you to believe something that's not true. And the thing about it is, I've dealt with this man for a long time, and I'm going to tell you a story about Real Illusion and this other thing called I Clone Malone. Now, what happened is that Joe got kicked off of, I believe Joe got kicked or something off of the Real Illusion forum board, and it was because that they found out that I'm not sure how the story actually went, but I can tell you what it came down to. I'm trying to remember the story, but only I can remember what happened after the story. And what the story was about is that Joe became this thing called I Clone Malone or I Clone Zero, and it was a website that basically was taking stuff from Real Illusion and putting it up there for free. He would steal stuff off of Real Illusion and put it up there for free. All right, and what happened is that Real Illusion found out that it was Joe, and Joe tried to pretend that I Clone Malone Zero wasn't him, but Real Illusion had some type of proof that it was. So Joe goes in here, and I'm not too keen about the story, but all I know is that Real Illusion knew it was Joe. And then when Real Illusion got tired of it, they banned Joe and banned the I Clone Malone Zero persona too. Now, I don't understand why he would think that he would go over to the website I Clone Malone Zero, and he so-called wrote an email to I Clone Malone Zero, which is basically he was sending an email to himself. And then in return, what Joe did was posted up under I Clone Malone Zero up in the Real Illusion board saying he was sorry for stealing all this stuff and I apologize to Joseph Earl McPeak. And then Joe comes with this wacky story saying, well, I contacted him through an email and told him to stop blah, 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 blah. And when you listen to him talk, you know he did it. You know it was him. You know it was I Clone Malone. Because the story sounds so wacky how he convinced this guy to sit back and write a letter. And this guy got so scared, he took the stuff down. No, that's not the case. Joe was I Clone Malone Zero. So Joe figured that if he go to Real Illusion and tell Real Illusion that he got that guy's website down and y'all should let him come back, that Real Illusion gonna say, okay, you can come back, Joe, because you did a good thing. No, Joe, because they knew you was I Clone Malone Zero. They knew it. And right along with I Clone Malone Zero, you got banned also. Peak Levels got banned not because he wanted to leave or whatever. It's because he tried to make fools out of somebody while selling their stuff. That's all to it. See, it's one thing to lie to somebody, but then you want to make people look like fools in the process. And that's what Joe thing is. Joe wants to make somebody like a fool. Joe thinks he's so smart he can make somebody like a fool. And then he wonders why people doesn't like Joe. Or why they think Joe's a bad person. Because Joe goes out of his way. If it takes him to make like a whole bunch of fake alts to do it, he's going to do it. Now that may have worked in the past, and he may have saw another 12-year-old pull this stunt off, but he can't do it. And Joe has done this many a times. Joe knows he can go and make as many alts as he wants to and just sit back and haunt the internet forever. And that's what he's basically doing. This man's going to probably hunt the internet for as long as he lives until he passes away. Because he has nothing else to do. Joe doesn't have a job. He lives in his mom's garage. He has nothing else to do but sit inside that garage all day and make alts and hunt and hunt and hunt people all day. That's it. That's all he has, folks. I know that this new Joe is the same Joe. He proved to me with his other video today. It's the same person. But he's talking in a different manner now. He's not talking like a bigot no more, but we know the bigot's still in him. We know that. I know that. You know, Joe already showed me what type of person he is. You know, everybody knows by watching my channel what's been going on, how long this has been going on, and all type of stuff. Everybody knows this. My whole thing is that I haven't really able to say anything about it. Folks, I'm trying to see if he I'm not trying to say nothing about it, you know, but I think I should say something about it. You know, here's a list of all of the trolls Joe has made to come to my channel. These are all the trolls. Every last one of these trolls. These are all of Joe's alts. All of them. All these alts are over the last 4 years. See how many of them there are? Some of them alts ain't around no more because Joe got rid of channels. But then Joe goes back and say, all I get is 3 people on my account. Well, Joe, here's the thing about YouTube, and what people need to know about YouTube is you can make as many accounts as you want to. You can make as many emails as you want to. I can show you an account with like one person on it and say, oh, look, see, I only got one person. See, nobody's stupid, Joe. Nobody is letting you pull the wool over their heads, because we know, Joe, you're not going to change. We know you're not going to change because you're up to the same silly stuff you always been up to. See, my whole thing is that Joe reminds me of another person who acted just like him. And Netflix did a movie about this guy. All right? Let me tell you all about, what's this guy's name? Luca Magnotta. Now, see, Joe doesn't like me talking about him. All right? So what Joe does is he went over there and demonetized my video. All right? It don't matter. I mean, I'm not doing nothing. There's nothing in my video. Nothing I'm doing right now that's against YouTube's policy. But YouTube's robot don't know that until it gets manually reviewed. So I knew Joe wouldn't like this video. So I'm really not going to show any pictures or anything right now. I'm just going to get a big 0. Also, in the description and in the title text, I also made sure that there was nothing offensive in that either. So this video will be monetized by the time I'm finished broadcasting it. So I ain't got nothing to worry about this video, because there's nothing in the video for Joe to sit back and say there's something in it that's supposed to be in it. But I will talk about this guy named Luca Magnotta. Now, who's Luca Magnotta? Well, you will have to watch this movie on Netflix called Don't Mess with Cats. Let me just tell you shortly, after watching that movie, this Luke Magnotta guy, whose real name is Eric Kirk Newman, they have a lot in common. But the only uncommon thing these two guys, Joe and this guy, doesn't have is that this guy became a killer. And I'm saying this guy and Joe parallel the same, because here's the thing about this Luke Magnotta. If YouTube made this guy a killer, the fame of being a YouTuber, the social media made this guy into a killer, and the way he used social media is in the same way that Joe used social media. As of what this guy what this guy tried to do is, like, he tried to be a model. All right, the man was trying to be a model, And what he would do is he put his his Luke McNoda persona up on Facebook. After he put it up on Facebook, he would go out and make like hundreds of accounts, hundreds of separate accounts. And all these fake accounts all they would do is sit back and go back and talk about Luke McNoda. Like, hey, I saw Luke McNoda hanging out with Madonna. Luke McNoda, he's in love with Madonna. Madonna, blah, blah, and he would make these fake articles and stuff. And he's using like a bunch of alts to do this with, right? And he would just do nothing but talk about himself. He would like Photoshop his head on some really good looking guys' pictures and stuff like that. I mean, his photoshopping was really bad, but it's the same thing with Joe. His Photoshop is bad, But the thing about this is how he used social media, made all these alts to make himself appear to be something that he's not. You get what I'm saying? The same way Joe has used the internet to try to make him something that he's not, and that's an artist. This kid right here, this guy, this Luke McNoda, either he learned something from Joe, Joe learned something from him, but they both did the same thing. The difference between Luke McNoda and Joe is that Luke McNoda went off to be a killer. Luke McNoda did these YouTube videos. Now, I don't know if anybody remember. If you got to watch the movie Don't Mess with Cats, and it's actually called Don't F with Cats. But what happened is that this guy went out and he started making these YouTube videos. Now, nobody knew who these YouTube videos would come from. He would make YouTube videos of him killing cats. He would put cats in a vacuum bag and suck all the air out and watch the cats die. He did the same thing with dogs. He did like a couple of cats, a dog, and then his final video, he killed somebody. Now, let's go back to when he killed the first cats. Everybody screamed about it. Everybody yelled about it. Everybody say, hey, this guy's crazy. You need to find him. Blah, blah, this, blah, blah, this, blah, blah, this, blah, 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 this. Right? YouTube didn't do nothing. It wasn't even YouTube who turned the video in. The guy makes another YouTube video where he's killing some more cats. YouTube didn't know nothing about it then. This dude finally gets around, kills a and he opens another account and does. I mean, YouTube takes the videos down, but the video stayed up there for a while. So the guy makes another video, killing the dog. But this video was different. He killed a dog and a human. This psychopath, this Luca McNoda, Eric Kirk Newman, he didn't start off like that. Social media and him wanting to be something that he couldn't possibly be turned him into that. The same way Joe uses social media to make you all think he's an artist and he's not. To make people think he can do motion capture and he does not. And then Joe goes off and make all these fake. Hold on, let me show you. Let me show you all of the fake. This is the guy. That's the guy right here I was talking about. I was comparing with Joe. Let me show you all of the fake. Hey, Ben Stanley, how's it going? Let me show you all of the fake. I'm waiting for my screen here to refresh real quick, folks. Hold on. I had to hit refresh on my freaking computer so I can catch up with myself. Let me show you all the fake alts Joe uses. All these alts that Joe used right here. All these alts. These are all Joe. All of them. Every last one of these. These are people that I've blocked off my YouTube. All because Joe is acting just like this guy. This fake wannabe model, actor, whoever he want to be, social media cat killer, human killer, whatever you want to call him. He acts just like True Bones. The fake alts, The claiming he did, oh yeah, the claiming he did something when he actually did it, and he did it, and then he goes back and say he didn't do it. Then he goes back and say, yeah, I did it. Same thing. But in fact, this guy's a little younger than Joe. See, Joe uses social media in a way to make him look like something that he's not. A hocus pocus. You know, and if people aren't careful, they won't catch on to what he's done or what he's doing. See, I caught on to what Joe was doing. Ever since I caught on to what Joe was doing, I've been telling everybody it's all tricks and mirrors. This man can't do what he claims he can do. This guy never worked on what he said he can work on. Just like he said when he worked on that Lil Nas video. I let him lie about that for weeks. Until I did the video about it. I see he doesn't talk about it no more after I did the video. He doesn't talk about how Lil Nas used True Bones. Everything that man says that somebody used True Bones in is big. Except for the real Benny D, and we know the real Benny D lied. He lied to me. That he say, I don't use True Bones, but he lied. And I left him alone. I was like, you know what? I ain't got time for you no more, dude. I get that. Go. But yeah. So what Joe sold that man was stolen content. The same way Joe said that he owned the stuff from Fortnite. He said that was his stuff. He sat back there screaming and cried about, y'all took my videos down. Those are my stuff. Well, that may have been Joe in the video, but the Fortnite stuff he didn't own. The clip art he used for it, he did not own. But yet he still lies. And then while Joe's doing one of his little circus acts on YouTube, he actually, though, you could actually see him pause as he types to himself so one of his alts could come in and talk to him. This is all in the grand scheme of a social media psychopath. And that's what Joe is. He's a social media psychopath because he's everywhere. Posting about him being a motion capture studio. He's not. Posting that he's some person that he's clearly not. He wants to be known for something that he has no reason to be known for. But the one thing we can know this guy as is a crook. It's a thief. That's what he is. And I haven't changed my vocabulary since then. This guy started off in the same way Joe did. He started off killing cats. Got some attention. Then rolled with it. Killed some more cats. Got some attention. Then rolled with it. Then he stopped for a little bit. And then this thing came out of somewhere. This guy who was a model and all this other stuff. He actually went on to Facebook and used like a gang of alts. A gang of alts to promote him. And it was all him. All him. He did this. He made a bunch of fake people to promote his fake self. Just like Joe. You can go to any forum board that has anything to do with motion capture, art, or whatever. And if you see True Bones there and somebody posted under True Bones, it's most likely Joe. Oh, well, I bought the True Bones. Oh, yeah, it's awesome. Yeah, it worked in my game, so blah, 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 this. Thanks, True Bones. I mean, Joe is so infested. I mean, Unity is so infested with Joe, it's not funny. Joe has maybe hundreds of fake profiles that he uses just to get on Unreal, Reallusion, Unity, Facebook, Instagram, and YouTube especially. I mean, he has so many alts out there, it's not funny. Which brings me back to his fakery of saying, I'm telling these guys to take this stuff down. Joe, I know you can take the stuff down. Joe can take that stuff down tomorrow, and that's what Joe wants people to say. Well, Joe took those videos down and you one gun. You need to stop talking about them. Well, you know what? It's funny because those so-called accounts are Joe's. I know Joe made those accounts. Those accounts are his. So when he says something, I don't believe it. The man's butt stank backwards crazy. He's he's proven to me that he's butt stank backwards crazy. And he's trying to fool you too. But I know people who watch this channel and actually watch the truth ignore his fiction. And that's what it is, folks. It's just his fiction. He's what you would call someone who's looking for a pathway through life, and he's trying to do it through someone else. I mean, I don't really care who he tells to take down what. I don't pay it no attention. Since the day that video on those channels existed, I never paid them any. I never paid them any. I never paid those channels. I know they were fake channels, but I never paid. I found out about them. I say, you know what? I'm just gonna ignore them. And when I ignored those channels, Joe knew I was ignoring the channels. Joe knew I knew those channels existed. So what Joe did is Joe took those videos and put them on his channel to make sure that I see them. You know, it was funny. And then after he put them on there, I still ignored those videos. I didn't talk about those videos. So Joe started making videos about him saying, look everybody, someone's made a channel. One. He's been advertising these channels since he created them 2 years ago. I just ignored them. I didn't talk about them because Joe wanted me to talk about that and get mad about those people making it. And I knew they were him. And I kept my focus only on him. He wanted to try to trickery to make me go somewhere else or concentrate on somebody else while he sits behind in the shadows. You know, anybody who makes a channel about me, I know it's Joe. Or Joe's behind it. And he can't get, and he knows this now. Joe knows this now. Because even in the so-called new Joseph Earl McPeak, Joe even talks about the channels. Joe wants me to think that he's changed. And he's trying to make these people take this stuff down. And I said, Joe, I know you've not changed because you won't take the stuff down. Now, he may have took it off his channel. But Joe realized, like, hey, you know what? I can just put this on another channel, another name, and one gun would know the better. But, Joe, I know it's you. Nobody else is going to carry slanderous garbage like that around for no reason. Or if they did, they would probably had like contacted me. See, Joe even sent me an email under a different name saying, "Hey, that True Bones guy, he made this fake channel, blah blah this," and I didn't pay the email. Matter of fact, I think I blocked the person who sent it because I knew it was Joe. Like, Joe, you could have told me this yourself. See, Joe wanted me to put my attention on those channels to get people to go to those channels. That's what Joe wanted me to do. So if I could sit back and talk about these channels, then y'all would go to there, and Joe would use that, play those videos, and that's exactly what he did. People wasn't watching the videos, but he kept on playing the videos on his channel to get people to go to those channels. It's funny. It's real funny. So it wasn't until after I watched this movie called Don't Mess with Cats. And when they talked about what this dude was doing on social media, trying to pump himself off as a fake model, doing all this stuff, the same way Joe said, like they're using this stuff in Disney, they're using this, they doing that, they doing this, and he can prove it because they come over here to my website. I said, Joe, they may be going to your website, or that traffic, some person from that Disney company may be coming to your website, but that just means only one or two things. Well, it actually means one thing. They're probably going there because somebody said you stole their stuff. You ever thought of that, Joe? You ever thought of that? You ever thought of like they was coming there to see if you were really selling or stolen stuff? Because I think that's what it is. I can look at my website. I can look at my website right now, and I can show you Disney has come to my website a couple of times. I can show you Industrial Light and Magic come to my site a couple of times. I can show you a whole bunch of people that come to my site a couple of hundred times. But don't mean they buy nothing. Don't mean I have some contact with them or nothing. That mean they came to my site and saw something. So you, my friend, Joe, you're trying to be a magician, you're trying to be an illusionist, and it's not working because your tricks are old and played out and have been done before, and people have actually seen through your smoke multiple times. You see, I have reduced you, Joe, to the troll that you are. You can call me a troll as much as you want to. I don't care because nobody knows I don't troll nobody. Who do I talk about in this channel besides you, Joe? Nobody. And why do I talk to you, Joe, on my channel? Because you like to do stuff to me. You like to do stuff to me to trick to see if you can fool me. That's the whole thing. He thinks I'm stupid and gonna fall for one of his tricks. I have to do videos like, okay, Joe, I'm not falling for it, and this is why I'm not gonna fall for it. Now I have to explain Joe's trick to everybody, and then Joe has to go back and make a video, whatever. You know, it's just getting old and stale, folks. Old and stale. So when I saw this movie, I was like, you know, this dude is just like Joe. And think about it, Joe ain't killed nobody yet. That's the only thing about it. You know, this guy went out and just killed somebody because he wanted attention. That's Joe. Joe wants attention. That's why he makes the video. People ever think about Joe's videos and what he does in his videos? It's all because he wants attention that he can do something. He wants to show off. And the stuff he does is so mediocre and just amateurish, it's not funny. Then I do something, and then he'll run and copy it or say he can do better. Never in my life have I had somebody like this do this to me. Try to take what I do and say, oh, I could do it better. Of course somebody can do it better, but it's not you, dude. You know, it's like you know, you're like the you like the Chihuahua who saw the big pit bull poop, and the Chihuahua said, I can poop just as big as you. And the Chihuahua poops out a little pebble. The pebble is you, Joe. You're the rear end of everybody's jokes, dude. So if I was you, I'll watch this. Watch the part of how they try to find out the psychology and everything, and just think about everything Joe has done. I've never seen nobody pretend to be something that they're not, and then convinces himself. See, the thing about it is, in order for Joe to actually pull this off, Joe has to convince himself. He has to convince himself that he's something that he's not. So when somebody confronts him about being something that he's not, he can get angry. He can get angry because he's already got the mental set that he is something that he will never be. And if somebody says something else, he's going to attack him. So that's basically what this guy did. This guy wanted to be something that he couldn't be. When somebody started attacking him, well, that's when he attacked back. And I was like, damn, I've been through this, you know. I've been through this. I've been through somebody who thinks he's something that he's not. And then when you confront him, he just gets butt hurt, bit backwards crazy. And then he comes after you. That's what Joe does. You know, somebody calls you a thief, prove it. Somebody calls me a thief, I say prove it. And that's what I tell Joe every day. We can steal true bones, so they prove it. Point to my movies. Point to my movies and say, oh, one gun took that from me. And he has never done that. Joe has never went through my movies. Not one of my movies to say he got that from True Bones. Because you know why? As soon as he does that, I can go back and say, this is where I got it from. So Joe never does that. He calls me using True Bones? Really? Really, Joe? You want to say I'm using True Bones? Point to one of my videos where I'm using True Bones, so I can tell everybody where I got that from. The same way we want you to point out in a Lil Nas video where there's True Bones in the Lil Nas. See, he has an infatuation of being famous by going to other stuff that's known and claiming he had a part in it. He's done this the whole time I've ever known him. That he will say that he did something that he didn't. And that probably comes from when his father was locked up for stealing an airplane. Maybe where he lived at, people came down on him for that. Oh, Joe's dad's a prison bird, blah, blah, this. So, mentally, he couldn't take it. You know, and he started acting out. He started doing stuff just to get attention. He'll probably break something, steal something. and and probably would get caught for it, then say I didn't do it when there's proof that somebody saw him do it. But Joe said I didn't do it. He's lying. And probably started doing something, going to the witness and probably throwing rocks. I mean, the whole rocks through the window. The whole thing is about, like, especially when he had on his Gumroad page, it's like, if you feel like your copyright's been infringed upon, please contact YouTube Legal. Now, let's just break that down. If you believe your copyright may have been infringed on, no, there's no belief if you're a copyright infringer. That can't even stand up in court. You have to be 100% that someone's infringed on your copyright. You don't contact the person that's stealing you stuff. You contact the people who's hosting the stuff, right? And tell them to remove the stuff off of the website. The same thing you would do at a retail store. If I walk in a retail store and I found bootleg stuff in the store, I contact the store, say, you got to remove this because I not give you a license, but there's no license for this stuff to be in your store. I own this, but it's my copyright, but this, they supposed to take this stuff out their store. Period. But Joe, Joe believes that in order for you to take something down from a website or something that you have, and that Joe put up there, Joe wants you to come directly to him under his fake True Bones Legal, and you're supposed to, like, talk calm to him, like, well, Mr. Joe McPeak, could you please take this down? Then Joe starts his kind, like, well, you don't own it, and I didn't know it had a copyright, blah, blah, blah. Now, the thing about it is, like this lawyer said, if there's something on the internet and you didn't make it, somebody else owns it. That's it. Those the three things right there. If you didn't make it, somebody else did, you know. And for some reason he can't get this through his head. He thinks that if it's on the internet, it's his. Just like he keeps on going back to his Sketchfab. His Sketchfab been taken away because 100% of what was on his Sketchfab was not his. He didn't own it. Then he said, "Oh, I get kicked off of. I got some," and he's still talking that way, folks. I mean, don't be fooled. I mean, he's still talking that way. Why he got kicked off of Sketchfab, and how he got kicked off of Facebook because NeoWiz went after him. They filed the complaints against him. YouTube told Joe to stop doing, to stop soliciting stuff that he does not own. What is wrong with him? This is the same thing this dude was doing. He was soliciting stuff that he did not do. He didn't know Madonna. Madonna didn't know him. He was no actor. He was a mentally ill, schizophrenic psychopath that his father said up in court, like, yeah, my son had problems. And it's because I left him with his mother. Who is Joe living with? His mother. She didn't see the small psychopathic killer in this man. All she saw was the good stuff that he let her see. But his father knew that he had a little Manson on his hand. He had a little Ted Bundy on his hand, and he tried to get his son help. He tried, but it was too late. The man sat back and killed animals and the human. Same thing with Joe. It's just a matter of time for Joe decides he wants to kill somebody. Just a matter of time. And guess what? Once again, YouTube is involved because we keep on telling YouTube, like, hey, this guy's harassing people. This guy's doing this. This guy even threatened to kill me once. YouTube's like, oh, fiddly sticks. Pfft, that's nothing. That is nothing. Well, wait, he's not doing nothing illegal. So getting up here on YouTube and saying you're going to kill somebody, that's not illegal. I mean, this is the internet. You can't even. You can go to prison for that. You can go to jail for saying something like that. YouTube didn't do nothing. Joe kept his channel. How Joe got his channel taken down the first time around? I had to go out and find people who can take his channel down. That's how I did it. I mean, he was doing something illegal, And YouTube told me this. I mean, this is what Gumroad told me, and this is what YouTube told me. If I'm not the original owner of the content in question, well, then I can't get it taken down. I'm like, really? So if I don't own it, right? I don't own it. I'm not the creator of it, and I can't take it down. Then I said, so what can I do? What can I do? Obviously, what this guy doing is illegal. YouTube was like, well, you're gonna have to find the original owner. And the funny thing about it is, Gumroad said the same thing. But Gumroad laughed at me. YouTube didn't want to deal with me, so I said, you know what? I think this is a challenge. I said, challenge accepted. So while Joe was going around putting up videos of me being a pedophile and calling me a transsexual, tranny, and all this other stuff, and putting up racist videos of me, and dressing me up as Shirley, and putting pics in my head, and all this other racist, bigoted stuff he was doing, and me going back and telling YouTube, this guy's harassing me. You can actually see the racist stuff he's doing. You know, dress me up as a slave, a beaten slave with one big eye, one small eye, all this other stuff, and you're going to say it's all right on YouTube? This is okay? I mean, YouTube basically, it was okay for him to do that. So I say, you know what? YouTube are a bunch of morons. And what I'm going to have to do is I'm going to have to play this. I have to take this game off of YouTube and take it into the real world. That's how I got Joe. That's how I got him. That's where I've been ever since. He can sit on the virtual world of the internet and do whatever heck he wants to. But one thing he can't do and get away with is with harassment. That's in the real world. You know, in this fakery he's saying about, oh, I'm losing my lung. Man, he's talking an awful lot for a guy who lost his lung, or losing his lung. So the moral to this story, folks, is that, in my opinion, Joe is just as big of a psychopath as this guy. It's just that Joe hasn't went that far yet. Given time, he could go this far. Meanwhile, we're telling YouTube, please get this man off of YouTube. Please get this man. He's not doing nothing productive. All he does is slander, trolls, slanders, trolls, threatens, extort. That's all he does. I got proof of it. See, Joe thinks the videos aren't there, there's no proof. But there's proof, Joe. There's a footprint. Everything you've done on YouTube, there's a huge footprint you left behind. Just like this idiot right here who decided to go from killing cats to people. He thought that he was so slick and so smart. And that's the problem with these guys. They're not slick, they're not smart, they're just clever. But the thing about being smart and slick, you never get away with it. But being clever, you always get caught. He thought he was too clever. See, clever is when your ego takes over. And when your ego takes over, you make mistakes. If you were smart, you wouldn't make the mistakes. If you were slick, you would have got away with it. But no, he was just clever. The most stupidest of all trolls are clever. Not too many of them are smart. Joe was not a smart troll. He was a very clever troll, some of the stuff he did. But the thing about it is, when you're a clever troll, you tend to go doing the same thing you did before because it worked. But the thing about it is, clever trolls, they're just a one-trick pony. Because they're going to do it again, and you're going to be able to watch out for it. And when they do it again, then you know, bam, I know it's you. So that's what it comes down to, where Joe was using the internet to prop up True Bones, to prop up a fake company, to prop up a company that does not exist. Why would you make a fake company just to sell stolen crap? And he's been doing it for years. Now, the biggest thing that I've changed about Joe is his lack of infomercials. I do not see him making any infomercials. And if he do make an infomercial, it's probably for something like maybe the Autodesk characters he's still stealing. I do believe he's still stealing those characters. But, you know, I haven't seen him make a good infomercial in a while. You know, I haven't seen him do it in a while. Maybe because of me, maybe because of somebody else. I'm not sure. It's like most of his videos are basically concentrated around me now. Because he knows that I have his number. I mean, his number as of, you know, I know what he's up to. I know what he does. You know, I mean, I'm not a psychologist, but it's easy to predict, or it's easy to identify when Joe attacks. It's easy. You know, if Joe was smart, he can make the extra step and just leave me alone. That's all he got to do. Just leave me alone. He's over there fronting like he's not doing nothing, and he is. As long as he thinks that somebody believes him, he's going to keep doing it. The thing about it is, I don't believe him. The biggest person he's trying to convince is me. And Joe knows. I told Joe from the get-go. I don't believe you. You're not going to get up and stop nothing because you want to win. What you're trying to win, I don't know. I can't help you with that. I'm not trying to win nothing. I just want you to leave me alone. I'm looking to accomplish something, not to win nothing. My accomplishment is you separated from me. That's it. I know you're never going to do it because it's not in you. I'm too much entertainment for you. But that's okay, Joe. But I'll tell you all, watch this Netflix movie. You know, watch this Netflix movie. Watch how it starts and how it ends. You know, how they found out who was doing this. How they found out about this guy. How they found out he was a phony. He was a little, small, little man who wanted to be something big. Another thing, he also like a Kim Basinger movie. I'm not going to tell you which one it is. But when you get to the end, when you get to the end of this movie, you're gonna be like, what? This movie is a documentary. This is the scary part about it. It's a documentary, a real life documentary of what this dude did. And I can only say is that I hope Joe just stays to stealing models. I just hope he just stays to stealing models and making slander videos. I hope he just stays to doing that because we don't need another killer like this guy walking around. We don't. Joe has everything it takes to be a psychopath like him. Matter of fact, Joe is a psychopath. But he hasn't crossed that line yet. You know. He hasn't crossed the line, but everything this dude does parallels with Joe. Parallels. The only difference between Joe and this dude is that he hasn't killed nothing yet. Well, nothing or no one that we know of. So my whole thing is, it's just find some other prey, Joe. Find somebody else. You know this has went on too long. And you know, every time you try something, it backfired. And Joe admitted the other day, it backfires. But then I just think he was just saying that to just make some of you all think that he's trying to change. You know, once you paint it the same, once you paint it a color, you tend to stay that color. You know, you're not going to change the colors that easy, Joe. You're crazy. You're insane. You don't know what you're doing. And you're a habitual liar, you know. You can't tell a lie from the truth. And I know those little people in that town that you live in, wherever you are, or the church you go to, somebody must be picking up on these videos. Somebody must be. Somebody must have asked you about this videos, asked you about all the stuff you've stolen, all the harassment and slander you're doing. And maybe somebody talked about the videos where you were saying the N-word multiple times. Maybe. And it drove you insane. Because I think is that as long as you hid what you did on the internet, you can get away with it. So when I started making the videos, and every time you look up Joseph Renwick Peak, you see what I've done. People see what you've done. You see, I'm not talking about you, Joe. I'm talking about what you do. See, you talk about me, but I talk about what you do. That's two different things. I mean, you talk about me and you lie about me and all this stuff. That's fine. That's fine because you just saying something. But when I do videos, I actually have to show the people like, okay, I bought this from Joe. All right, he claimed that he owned this, and look, these are the actual people that owned it. And then you got Joe in the middle like saying, oh, he's lying. Whatever, Joe. Whatever, dude. If I was lying, Joe, why you off of Sketchfab? Why did you get kicked off of Facebook? Why did Epic almost have to sue Gumroad? And it's all because of your stealing and thievery. That's all this is about, dude. Just you being a crook. You stealing people's stuff and having to lie about it. The thing about it is, Joe, I've busted you so many times, no one believes you anymore. Nobody. There is no forum board in the world you can point to and say True Bones is in it, because True Bones been banned from just about every CG site ever created. Everyone. And when he says he's not, he is. He's not in there as peak levels. He's not definitely not in there as True Bones. Everybody knows True Bones is stolen garbage. Everybody knows this. Everybody knows True Bones is stolen garbage. Everybody knows that Joe McPeak is the garbage man. Because he wants you to believe it's garbage. Now, I can talk just like Joe, be all calm and nice. Or I can sit back and laugh like the penguin all through this. I mean, it just depends. But I think I'll just play Joe's new game, which is just to sit back and just talk to people. Make people believe that I've changed. Make people believe that I'm something that I'm not. I can play that game with Joe just as well. So, keep it up, my friend. Keep it up. What I'm going to do, actually, I got to get some work done today. Tomorrow, I may be at home all day tomorrow because there's a snowstorm, actually an ice storm headed here tomorrow. So nobody's going in tomorrow where I'm at. So I'll probably be up all day tomorrow working and finishing up some films I got on the back burner. But the rest of the day, I think I'm just going to play some music and just work. Just work some more on my on this project. And I'm gonna have to do some of the project offline because I can't show it on YouTube. But I'm trying to come up with a Patreon tier that the stuff that I can't show you all can go to our Patreon and check it out. I'd like to thank Joe for all 3 of the likes that he put on my video today. I know it's Joe. And I'd like to thank all of Joe's. How many alts came in here today to watch to download my video, to report my video? Let's see, all 8 of Joe's alts that came here to watch my video and report it. I'd like to thank you, Joe, for kindly dropping in. You're all invited back to later on to this locality, so you can report every video I do for the rest of the day. You see, YouTube, that is, videos and wannabe movie stars. Yeah, so I think I'm pretty much done with this topic, people. I just wanted to because Joe made a video a couple of days ago, and I just said, you know what, I'll make my video eventually. I said I'll do it one day when I'm not doing some work. But I'm just gonna stay off for the rest of the day and work on my other titles, and probably just come back tomorrow and do some more work. But you need to stop, man. I mean, really, you really need to stop. You're like over 50 years old, dude. You know, and I mean, I just turned what? I just turned what, 44 or what? No, yeah, I turned 44 in 2019. So I'm about to turn 45 this year, man. Uh, and life is short, dude. You know, I actually went out and I saw my mom today in the place where they got her, where she's going through her rehab and stuff because of her stroke. You know, I don't talk about her much because when I did talk about her, what did Joe do? You know, dude's crazy. You know, I talked about something serious with my mom and everything, and Joe was right there. He's right there to he stole the video and he put the video on his channel. You know, and what happened to my mom was very serious. You know, it was life changing for my whole family. We had a hard time, and I was going to try to fundraise to get some money for her. And what this buffoon do? He sat back and he started his thing again, saying, "Oh, his mommy, blah blah this. I'll take it down. The what's the name? You know." I'm like, what type of psychopath or what type of psychopath would do that? You know, my family, my people are hurting, and we're financially strapped, and we're trying to find some way to help pay some of these medical bills now. Because let me tell you, folks, it costs 12 grand for my sister to fly over there to Tanzania and get my mom out that half flooded, disease infested hospital she was stuck in for a whole month to get her back here. And then those freaking con artists over there at the hospital, you know, they're on the internet. And let me tell you, the hospital they posted up there wasn't the hospital my mom was at. They used another picture for a hospital to say that's their hospital. And then my sister said, "No, this is the hospital she was in." I was like, "Oh my god, that it looked like a hotel that somebody decided it was like an old abandoned hotel that somebody decided, well, old abandoned flooded hotel with holes in the roof, and somebody decided, hey, let's make this a hospital. This would be a great sanitary space." So 12,000. So they wasn't gonna release my mom until we paid her doctor's bills. And then they wasn't gonna let my mom after we paid that. Then they said, "Oh, we can't let her leave until she's gonna have to pay for a nurse." What? Yeah, we're gonna have to put a nurse on the plane with her. That's the only way it releases her. You have to give us some money for the nurse and a return ticket. So they didn't want to give us money for the nurse. They had to give them some money for them for a return ticket home. Now you would think the U.S. Embassy would try to help us, but they did not. Only thing they did was just make it a little easier for us to get mom home. But my mom finally made it home, and went out to visit her again today. My first time I visited my mom, she was in bad shape. We didn't think she was gonna make it, but she made it through. She's getting speech therapy. She can talk better. She can talk better now, and she's also getting treatments and all type of stuff. But the whole thing about it is that I tried to get on here and try to have a good discussion about my mom, but after what Joe did, I was like, I'm not gonna talk about my mom. I'm not gonna talk about it no more. You know, maybe every once in a while somebody asks me about her, but nah. It's like if I do raise money for her, it has to be under a different name, not this name, because Joe and his cronies will find it and start saying, "Oh, this is blah blah this. Oh, this is scams and fraud, scams and fraud." See, I can't be like everybody else because of Joe. Joe wants to be me, be a part of me. I don't know what he wants. It's not my fault that he's a nobody. It's not my fault. But Joe wants to be my problem because he needs me to survive. He needs me. You know, sometimes it's like, no, I should just leave YouTube. Just leave it. It's not worth it. It's not worth it. I mean, it's too many trolls like him. It's too many trolls like Joe. You know, and then Joe can play the system and get my videos taken down or whatever. And it's just not worth it. I spend too much time trying to keep this little stupid channel afloat. And as long as I'm on YouTube, he's going to be here. Like, maybe I should just get up one morning and just leave YouTube. It's like all my channels, all no videos, no nothing. Just leave YouTube. Then Joe wouldn't have no more. Joe wouldn't have nobody. Joe wouldn't have no one. If y'all come back here tomorrow, my channel, all my channels and networks are gone. That means I'm done. Not because of Joe, but because of the way YouTube is. If y'all wake up and then you try to find me on Facebook and I'm not on Facebook no more, that's because I'm just done with social media. I'm doing better. I'm do better and make a little bit more money staying offline and working on people's stuff. It makes no sense for me to bother to be on YouTube anymore. It makes no sense. There's nothing here. I'll probably keep one channel, maybe my Archive Infinity channel, because I do owe y'all a movie. But I think I should just get off social media because it's horrible. It only takes one person to destroy something you're trying to build. That's all it takes is one person to just because they want to make your life online a living heck. You know, I think YouTube belongs to the trolls. If you're a creator, it makes no sense to be on YouTube. YouTube is beginning to be a waste of time. Big waste of time. Maybe I should just leave. Maybe it's just time for me to go. Maybe it's just time for me to just leave Facebook, leave Instagram, just get off of social media. It's just something to think about. Just keep my website going. That's about it. See you guys later.